leaves taste good like a beer should.
You said it. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
Try a frosty cold glass of Bavarian right away.
What's that you say? No Boulder Dash or baloney here.
Cheers, everyone, and welcome to the Unfiltered Gentleman. No matter how you take your hooch, we've got something ice cold and on tap. Now, serving it to you straight and unfiltered, here are Greg, Scott, and Dan.
Welcome in, everybody, to the Unfiltered Gentleman. Wow, is it nice to hear my voice in a not deathly kind of way. I am Greg. Over there, that is Scott.
Yeah.
And that is not Dan.
Boop, boopy doop.
Boop, boopy doop.
Yeah, Dan has the plague. He's been avoiding the plague. We've had the plague.
He's got that darn coronavirus.
Yeah, so that's why our burp word of the week is Corona.
Yeah.
He's had too many Coronas, and now he has the coronavirus. It's a shame. But better than Dan, filling in for Dan, is the one and only Deb.
I am better than Dan.
It's true.
Of course.
Suck it, Dan.
Oh.
And it's an equally easy name to say.
Right?
Yeah, Dan, Deb. I'll probably get confused at some point. When Dan comes back, I'll call him Deb. It'll be a shit show.
We look a lot alike, too.
Yeah, especially the skin tone. It's very close. Your beard's not quite as good as his.
Not quite.
But we can work on that. So thank you all for listening. Thanks for joining. Our burp word of the week, like I said, is Corona. Shout out to the top listening city of last week, which is Denver, Colorado.
Wow.
Love Denver. Love their beer out there. Our friend Davis is out there. Most importantly, I love their beer out there. Don't forget to hashtag show us your beers on the social medias. Rate and subscribe. Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Spreaker, Spotify, whatever you're listening to. Give us a little love on there. In addition to having Deb in the studio today, we've also got some crotch talk to get to, some sports news, Scott's favorite event, the All-Star Game, happened over the weekend. Some podcast reviews to read. We got some new reviews on Apple Podcasts there.
Man.
Of course,
Hope they're good.
Yeah, booze news and so much more. But most importantly, let's get into the drinking.
Grab your libations, pals. It's time for beer of the week.
And if you're drinking, well, you know that you're my friend. And I'll say, I think I'll have myself a beer.
Having ourselves a beer indeed. This one comes to us from a friend, and I'll talk about that during Crotch Talk. But we are drinking Russian River's Mind Circus Hazy IPA. 7%, 403 on Untapped, and a 92 on Beer Advocate. From the brewery, they say, Mind Circus IPA has a mild bitterness and a thick, luscious mouthfeel. This style of IPA is what's being called in the beer world as a hazy IPA, in quotes. Dominantly herbaceous and grassy with moderate tropical notes as well as some bright citrus, this unique hazy IPA gains its flavor of grapes and grass from the Nelson hops and its tropical notes of pineapple and mango from the Strata hops. It's unfiltered, leaving a haze and some yeast for more texture. Oats were also used to add to the softer mouthfeel and hazy appearance. I feel like they wrote this before hazies were a thing.
Yeah, in the quotation marks.
Yeah,
Hazy IPA.
Hazy IPA in quotes, and then later on it said haze. That was also in quotes. What is this haze you speak of?
I will say this, when you look at it, it's not super hazy.
This is fairly clean for a hazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't see through it. I can sort of see shadows on the other side of my glass, but yeah, this is definitely not like some New England pulp bomb or something like that.
It's a Central Coast hazy.
Yeah, exactly. West Coast does hazies a little differently. Not so hazy. What do we think of this one, besides hazy in quotes?
It's pretty good. I definitely get a little bit of that citrus, for sure.
Yeah, I get a lot of citrus. I mean, before I even took a drink, when I put the glass up to my face, man, that citrus hit my nose, man.
Yeah, I don't so much get the grassy flavors that they speak of, but I don't know. Anybody get grassy?
What does grass taste like, though, really?
I don't know. I'm glad I don't know, I guess.
Funny you should ask.
Not that grass.
Oh, never mind.
That's totally different. Yeah, this is pretty crushable and pretty easy to drink at 7%. Like, it doesn't really taste like a 7%er. It's not a huge juice bomb like most hazies are nowadays. But
definitely not a juice bomb.
Yeah, but overall pretty good beer.
Yeah.
I'd drink it again.
Good stuff.
Russian River coming through. All right, We got a lot to talk about, so let's move on to, more Russian River talk for that matter.
Have a grievance to share? It's time for crotch talk.
Yes, it is. I don't have any grievances. I did a little beer research over the weekend and went to Enegren. They had their new Zwickel beer out, so I checked that out. Delicious. Ooh. Then made our way to Institution down the hill from Enegren, Institution in Camarillo, California.
I missed that place.
Yeah, I had a couple of what they had on tap, a couple of IPAs. Not too bad. My favorite of the day was still Restraint. They're brown.
I love the Restraint. Yeah, I think that's their best beer, honestly.
I do too. And no matter how many beers I try, I always go back to Restraint.
Samesies.
That's how I always finish my night there. Then the next day on Sunday, I met up with one of our favorite listeners, Fontana Jim. Oh. We went to Casa Agria. He was camping in the area, and so we met up at Casa Agria, had a couple of tasty hazies there. The wife had a sour. It was like guayaba on the house or something. It was like a fruited sour. It was delicious. Ooh. So good. Sometimes sours for me can be a little too sour, a little hit and miss or whatever. This was great. It was a Berliner, the right amount of sour, the right amount of guava in it. It's just, I love anything with guava in it too.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then after he had to go, we were like, well, we're already halfway there. Let's go to Seaward Brewing.
Oh.
Went to Seaward Brewing. Love Low Tide and High Tide. Low Tide is the IPA. High Tide is the double IPA. She likes the double, so we got those and a couple other beers. It was a great day. Great day for drinking. Mm-hmm. And Fontana Jim hooked it up with the beer we're drinking right now, Mind Circus. When we were sitting there talking, he's like, hey, have you had that hazy from Russian River? No, I have not. He goes, I got one in the truck. You want one? Does a Pope shit in the woods? Yes, I do. So he hooked it up. So thank you to Fontana Jim for hooking up our beer of the week this week.
Yeah,
it's very nice of him. And then Deb was on some adventures today. You tracked down the illustrious Pliny the Younger.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so here's what happened. I had today off from work. Yeah. So
your boss is a real American.
Right. Uh-huh. And so I was just like trying to get stuff done around the house and chores. And I took a little break. I went to what I call the study, which is, the toilet.
Right. Figured.
And so I'm on my phone. I'm scrolling through Facebook and I see this post from Ladyface saying that they were going to be tapping the keg.
Tapping that ass.
Yeah. And so I immediately ran downstairs, started yelling at my husband, and we ran out of the house immediately.
Hopefully not sans clothes.
No, but it's funny because by the time I got to Ladyface, I got out of the car and realized I was wearing my slippers. I wasn't. Yeah.
That's it?
I had slightly more than just the slippers
you
on.
And your husband are sans clothes.
Yeah. Sans clothes all the time. Nothing but slippers. So we got there and I was like, what time do they open? And I never bothered looking at the post. I just saw the picture and I was like, well, shit, they don't open for another hour.
What time did they open? 11?
Well, okay, so they normally open at 11:30. But there were already people in line, just a couple of people. I saw Craig of Craig's Nirvana fame.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I saw, he was the first one in line, it looked like.
Of course.
And so I went back and looked at the post again and it said they were going to open at 11.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's just get in line. It's only 30 minutes. So we waited.
Well, you're already there.
Yeah. Of course, it was the one day where we've had no overcast, no cloud cover, just the bright, beautiful sun beating down upon all of us standing on the blacktop.
And we're all white as can be from the winter.
For real.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, we got in there and I was nice and sweaty and all I wanted was a cold beer. Mm-hmm. And got our pours, got our hand stamps. I'm still wearing it right now, actually.
Straight from the club.
And so we got our beers and we sat down and we drank it and it was delightful.
Nice.
Yeah. I gave it a 4.75 on Untapped.
Okay.
The 2018, I've been lucky 3 years in a row to get it. Mm-hmm. Last year, you may or may not remember, we went on my birthday.
Yes.
Yeah. We had a birthday brunch.
We were mid-brunch.
And I got the alert on my phone and was like, check, please.
Yeah. Well, sans explanation, you were like, we need to leave, we need to check, we need to go.
Yeah, right.
And we were all like, what the fuck is happening? Why, someone die? Or what's going on? You're like, Pliny, Younger, let's go. Where? Ladyface, okay. And it was funny because we all looked around like, who hasn't been drinking the most? Luckily, your husband was like, I'm going to take it easy today at brunch.
Yeah, intern Brian was there.
Yeah, intern Brian was there, and he was like not drinking very much. So he's like
drinking.
Yeah, Sans drinking. He's like, well, I haven't really had much. Like, perfect.
Yep, you're the one.
Get that bill. Let's go.
So last year's, I didn't think. So in 2018, it had like this juicy stone fruit, like just this quality to it that was amazing. I rated it a 5. Last year's, I gave it a 4.5.
Okay.
This one came in the middle, 4.75. It was good. Wasn't as good as 2018.
Nothing wrong with that.
And I'll never, you never forget your first.
Right. Oh, that's for sure. Was
So,
18 your first?
18 was my first.
I think it was my first also. I wish I remembered it in such detail as you do. But when I went for the 18 one, I then followed it up with an elder and a blind pig. Mm-hmm. So I don't really remember the younger all that much.
Well, so what was really funny today is we had an elder after the younger, and my husband made a joke. He was like, this is like drinking like a O'Doul's non-alcoholic, drinking it immediately after the younger, because it was just, I mean, it didn't taste like, you're drinking like a light beer in comparison.
We're only drinking the 7.5%
right?
Yeah. Well, and younger is super boozy tasting also. Like it's 10.4, I think. It's 10 something.
I think it was 10.4.
Yeah. And you taste all 10 point whatever it is that year. At least,
sure
I don't
do.
know about this year's. I haven't had this year's. But like every other year I've had it, it's like, man, do you taste that alcohol?
Yeah, for sure.
And it tastes more like a 15% or almost. It's like a mind fuck.
Totally, yeah.
Kind of like 120-minute IPA. Mm-hmm. Like you taste every drop of that 19%. Where like Sequoia Stout, which is a local beer from out here, is 18%, and it's like it's no big deal. That thing goes down like water.
Right.
So.
I always use the reference of Palate Wrecker from Green Flash. Mm-hmm. Like it doesn't have that name for no reason.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like Craig's Nirvana. That's another one too. Speaking of Craig,
great beer.
Yes, indeed. So great beer adventures had by all. Scott, anything from you? Any beer adventures? Any grievances?
No, not really.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No ladies stealing face masks or anything like that.
Oh, you know what? That does for me. It was kind of weird. I'll just throw this kind of question out for you guys. When do you buy your Valentine's gifts for your significant others? Or do you?
It depends if she's listening to the show.
Oh.
I did all my shopping
We
the
do
day
this off air,
of
Okay.
this year. Now, I did buy one thing.
Okay.
And if anybody is a fan of Schitt's Creek,
oh, I love it.
I had shirts made for us, and it's a picture of an enchilada, and it says enchiladas at the bottom.
Oh man,
so any
I love
fans will
that show.
enjoy that. So I had that made a few weeks out because time obviously. But anything else that I bought was bought the day of.
Oh, okay.
So I was on an airplane on the day after the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I was flying back from the East Coast. I was out there during the Super Bowl. And I found out on the airplane.
That's the one the 49ers lost?
Yeah. Yeah. So
give this man a beer.
When I was on the plane, there was like a notice that came on that was like, if you use Amazon while you're on the airplane, you'll get 3 times your air miles.
Wow.
Like they'll hook you up or whatever. So I went on Amazon and I bought his Valentine's Day present on the airplane.
Smart.
Yeah. I was like, triple the points. Why the hell not?
Start texting all your friends. Who needs shit?
Right?
Yeah. Getting points.
So the reason why I'm asking that is because I have a new career now. I no longer am into the wood business.
Right. Couldn't get wood anymore. So.
No, couldn't get any more wood. So I went into the medicine business.
Right.
And I worked Friday evening, and I was warned as soon as I walked in, this is Valentine's, it's going to be crazy. I'm like, oh, because, people already took care of their shit. And,
right. You would think so.
They're going to go out and wine and dine and do whatever they're going to do as Valentine. It was fucking crazy.
I can tell you where I've never shopped for Valentine's before. A local pharmacy.
You're the only one. It was crazy.
Wow.
All night long. It was like a line like halfway out down the store. It was.
But I'd imagine there's a lot of dudes that have to come in to pick up their special medicine, what I mean?
Their blue pills.
Their blue pills, yeah.
That might be.
Yeah. Cards, candy, flowers,
rubbers.
Condoms. Yeah.
I was going to say, was condoms like a high ticket item with all the candies?
Quite a few condoms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least they were, being safe.
Yeah, it was wild.
Don't want to catch the coronavirus.
Yeah. And shout out to Carlos, is my new best friend, because he's one of the assistant managers.
Uh-huh.
He's like doing 2 registers.
Oh,
he's like
he's one of those guys.
Oh, he's
At the
fucking
same
crazy.
time?
Oh yeah.
What a stud.
I can barely do one.
What a stud.
Yeah.
Should bought him a Valentine.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I was shocked. It was crazy. I'm thinking it's gonna be dead tonight. Everybody's out doing their Valentine thing, but nope.
I can just say about Valentine's Day is I'm glad it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Cannot
me too,
stand Valentine's Day.
It's kind of a weird day. Yeah.
I refuse to go out to dinner on that day because it's just a shit show. And they gouge the fuck out of you, too.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, hey, remember how this was like $8 last week? Here's your $17 burrito. Like, what?
Yeah.
No.
Your $17 burrito? Where are you guys going?
Taco Bell.
Right?
Valentine's special at Taco Bell. So, $17 burrito, free shits.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually went out the night before. Well, one is because I was working. The other was because I knew Valentine's Day would be crazy at probably all the restaurants. So
yeah, I cooked. We stayed in. I cooked. We opened up some good beers. We've had this one for a while. The Old Manhattan from Firestone.
Oh yeah.
I've been very vocal about how I feel about Dark and Stormy, or whatever they've changed the name to now, so that it doesn't sound like Dark and Stormy anymore. Awful. Old Manhattan, pretty good. I'd drink it again. Have you had it?
I feel like I did have it on a night that I had already imbibed. So I don't have a clear recollection of it.
I mean, we'd had a few, so I'm sure it gets a little more favorable review, but nothing like that Dark and Stormy. Like that Dark and Stormy.
It's the worst fucking beer I've ever had in my life.
Literally, like I'd drink a Bud Light over that any day.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Bud Light Lime.
Wow.
Yep, still true. Oh, God, and that's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Bud Light Lime gives me indigestion for days. It's like sucking on bad beer and a lime at the same time.
Right.
It's so bad. But
it's like when you take a crap and you use the floral spray to cover the smell.
Oh, yeah.
And it just smells like floral shit.
Right, flowers. You shit stinky flowers. You're right, I do. Yeah, spray's so dumb. But yeah, it was actually not bad. I'd drink it again. I'd give it a, I don't know, 3.5.
All right.
Not horrible.
Mm-hmm.
It's still weird because it's meant to taste like a cocktail and it's just a blend of beers. I'd still prefer just the beer.
Right.
Hell Dorado or whatever it's based out of, but not bad. So that was our fancy beer we opened for Valentine's. That and a couple other ones. All right. We got a little sports to talk about. This is going to be Deb's expertise.
You know it.
Let's crack right in.
And now, the sports, brought to you by cleaninguptheglass.com.
Take it away, Deb.
Whether it's the Baltimore Chop or the 1-2 punch, it's time for sports.
So they renamed the NBA All-Star MVP Award to the Kobe Bryant All-Star MVP Award in honor of Kobe. The alien commissioner of the NBA says it's because Kobe was the epitome of All-Star and was an All-Star so many times. To me, I think that's cheap. I think they found an easy way to give him an award. I think a better award would have been like the end of the season award, where someone who displayed, for lack of a better term, Mambaism and was like a heavy competitor no matter how shit their team was. This whole it's the NBA All-Star, and maybe it's because I hate the All-Star game, but I think it's a bullshit award to put his name on. I don't know. Do you disagree?
I think any award to put his name on is good, but to pick that one is kind of bullshitty.
Just like I think they're also really playing up the fact that they're gonna get him in the Hall of Fame. Like, oh, we're gonna usher him right in. It's like, this was the first year he's eligible. He was going in anyways.
Right.
Stop patting yourselves on the back.
Even I know that.
See? That's how I think they're really trying to pat themselves on the back and look at us and we promise we loved Kobe too. It's like, okay, let's think about this award for a week and a half, get him something a little better. And of course he's going to the Hall of Fame. He's eligible this year. There's no way he was never not going to be in the Hall of Fame this year.
I thought he wasn't eligible till next year.
I'm pretty sure it's this year.
What do I know?
Yeah, from everything I've heard, but I'm drunk all the time, so.
Me too.
Can I make a quick statement about the All-Star game?
Please.
Did anyone watch Shaka Khan do the national anthem?
Did not.
No.
It was like the number one trending thing on Twitter.
Oh, yeah?
Was it bad?
It was bad.
Oh, no.
Oh, shoot.
It was real bad.
Can I make a little, not announcement, but if I can be honest here for a second, didn't know she was still alive. Not to be mean, honestly didn't know she was still alive.
She's not that old.
She's not?
No.
Oh. I feel like I've been hearing Shaka Khan jokes since I was a kid. Now I'm old.
Well, because she had a big hit in the 80s.
Yeah, that's true.
But a few big hits. But no, she's not that old.
Oh, well, but not a good singer anymore.
I don't even think it was that. I think she was, remember when Fergie tried to do the jazzy national anthem and everybody hated it? I also think that was an NBA All-Star game.
Could have been.
And it was really terrible. She was kind of doing the same thing. It wasn't her style. It wasn't her range. It wasn't
Also
good.
wasn't how it was meant to be sung.
No.
So, interesting. Well, back to the MVP award. Kawhi Leonard is now the first owner of the Kobe Bryant All-Star MVP award. I watched a little bit of the game, but didn't really pay much attention. My favorite part of the game came from the press conference when they were talking to Giannis, who, of course, was head of Team Giannis versus Team LeBron. They were asking him many questions, but one was, what was your strategy to get some extra points in the hole there? Here's what he had to say.
Offensively, we were just trying to, find whoever, James Harden was guarding. That's who we thought we were going to have an opportunity to score on.
Whoever was being guarded by James Harden was who they were trying to get the ball to, because no one plays less defense in the world than James Harden.
True.
But I love that they just called him out. Like, Harden fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Get the ball to
Everybody
whoever's
knows
being
it.
guarded by Harden. So, good job, Giannis.
Yeah. So here's my, because everybody, I think I've mentioned it several times how much I hate All-Star games. So I was thinking yesterday, okay, well, since I think they're going to honor Kobe,
right?
I'll kind of go in and out. I'll watch a few minutes and I'll go back to whatever else I'm doing. Then at the last minute, the wife calls us, hey, it's my cousin's birthday. We're going to their house. I'm like, yippee. So we ended up at her cousin's house, which they were watching the All-Star game. So for the first time in years, I pretty much saw the whole game. And it was probably... the fourth quarter, I guess I should say, was probably the most exciting All-Star game I've seen in a long time. Yeah. The only thing, I mean, All-Star games are All-Star games. I still would not watch it,
right.
After that. The only thing that kind of caught me, and I was thinking last night after I heard this comment, I go, well, maybe, am I a bitch or is this guy just clueless? But we're watching, and they showed a clip of Kobe doing something, I don't know, and somebody in the room said, are you kidding me? He was killed 3 weeks ago. Are they still showing this shit? I'm like, what? And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'm a bitch. I don't know.
Because it's still, What a douche.
Still, that shit still gets to me. I mean, I'm not, like weeping every day or anything like that anymore. But it's still like, wow, it's, I'm
not actively sobbing like I was before.
Right.
But yeah, it's still, it's still pretty fresh. Still pretty fresh.
Yeah.
That's pretty shitty.
Yeah. So I guess, I mean, a lot of the people in the room had no idea what sports is, so... Yeah.
Or decency.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then another great thing to come out of the All-Star game. Did anybody... You, Deb, had the sound on apparently at some point, or at least maybe just for the Chaka Khan song, but did you see Isaiah Thomas doing any commentary at all?
I did not.
Oh, did you, Scott? Apparently people are saying Isaiah was drunk.
Good for him.
Because
so was I. So.
Right, yeah. He's not the only one. Was Ron Artest there too? Because he was being silly. Here's a clip. People are saying that this clip shows, but you can hear it in his voice that he was drunk. Tell me what you think.
Against the All-Star, Chris Middleton.
Ooh.
I like that matchup.
I don't know. It's going to be
I
a
like
good
that
one.
matchup.
It's going to be hard to pick on this one.
That, of course, means that our fourth and final matchup will be Jason Tatum taking on Domantas Sabonis. Good luck, guys.
Ooh, we got the Celtics against the Pacers. You know, that's a rivalry there.
Classic
But
rivalry.
Jason Tatum, I don't know. And we got Sabonis. Do it for your daddy.
All right, competition is set. Let's get it going.
Zeke is on. I love Zeke.
Does he sound drunk?
Just a skosh.
He sounds a little silly for sure. And then my other question is, since when were the Pacers and the Celtics a huge rivalry?
Right?
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah, apparently you're going back years and years. Big rivalry there. So
yeah, I have to check my NBA history on that one.
Yeah, of all nights of Dan not to be here.
No kidding.
Right? If anybody knows about Celtic and Indiana rivalries. And then moving on to baseball, the Mets' Pete Alonso says that I want to be, in regards to this season and how he's going to perform, at the end of the season, quote, I want to be celebrating on a parade float drunk as hell. That's the goal.
Win or not.
That should be every year.
Right? Yeah.
He's going down to Mardi Gras. It's nothing to do with the season.
I fucking love Pete Alonso, and he is a big dude. It is going to take he's like 250 pounds or something. Whoa. He's just built like a brick house, and dude hit like more than 50 home runs in his rookie season with the Mets last year.
He's rookie of the year, right?
I believe
last
so.
Year and
No, I don't think he was, because I remember thinking I was mad that he wasn't.
Oh, I thought he was. Okay.
Well, no.
You would know before.
I know. Now I got to do this, but it's going to take a lot of beer to get that guy drunk.
Yeah, well, I'm willing to go beer for beer with him. And Darvish is upset at the Astros and the whole cheating scandal and how it's been handled, and went on to say that Olympians don't get to keep their medals for cheating. Why do the Astros get to keep theirs?
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. I've been saying it all along. They should be stripped of the World Series. It should not go to the Dodgers, but it should be vacated, I think. No winner.
Dude that got screwed the hardest in all of that was, in fact, Darvish.
Oh, yeah. Boy, did they make him look like an idiot.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And here we've been blaming him all these years, and now we know.
Now it's the trash can's fault.
Well, it's funny because he had posted, his Twitter is amazing, by the way. I don't know.
He's hilarious.
Yeah. He had posted when all of this stuff about the Astros first came out, he said, if the Dodgers decide to throw a World Series parade, I'll be there if somebody makes me a "you garbage" jersey. I thought that was brilliant.
That is pretty good. I saw one at about the same time when someone said, like, have you heard all this? What do you think? And he said, I still suck. That was his tweet. I was like, oh, poor guy.
Poor you.
Yeah, poor you.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
It's to me, as a fan, it's still irritating because, I mean, the whole league is pissed at the Astros, and they're like, well, we got to move on now, and they're sorry. And if you heard their apology, is like, okay,
or lack thereof,
we are very sorry. Yeah, it's just like,
is that what the paper says? Sorry.
It got smudged. So
yeah,
they couldn't read
yeah. And it's like,
Pete Alonso spilt his beer on it. Yeah. I think. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say. Speaking of Pete Alonso, he was rookie of the year.
There you go.
You had it.
There you
go. Way to go, Rook. I think this is being made worse by the front or by MLB from The Office, Manfred, by not punishing people. Now people are more mad, and he did a press conference over the weekend and said, like, anyone who retaliates, any pitchers who retaliate, they will be, punished immediately and swiftly and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you know how to avoid pitchers throwing at the Astros? Fucking punish the Astros.
Right.
And then they won't feel like they have to take it into their own hands.
Yeah.
But
so the Astros, the first game they play opening day is against the Angels. I read.
Yes.
And it's most likely that Heaney will be starting for the Angels. And so we're all looking to Heaney to set the example, right?
Set the tone for the year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Trout even has been.
Oh, he's been coming out too.
Oh yeah,
he's not been quiet.
He
must be friends with Belly. They are not.
Oh
happy.
yeah, Bellinger has been pretty strong. Mm-hmm. And then the Astros have the nerve to answer back to Bellinger.
Oh, I know.
Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Boy, do they! They need a new PR person.
No kidding.
Every response for the last few months should have been, "It's an ongoing investigation. We're not going to comment."
Right.
That's all they should ever say.
Right.
And even now, with it over, like, it's still an open case. We are not going to comment.
Well, and there's pending litigation.
They're being sued.
Right.
By a former Dodger pitcher. They should not say anything. They shouldn't even apologize. They should just shut the fuck up.
Shut up.
You're making it worse. Every time you open your mouth, you're making it worse. Now Altuve's talking, I had a bad tattoo. I was trying to not show. That's why I didn't want to take my jersey off.
The memes, though, of Altuve's tattoo, people are like doing like, the no raggerts across his chest. And,
which is my favorite tattoo.
And then like someone did a little trash can on his chest.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Well, and intern Brian sent me that great video.
Oh.
With Phil Collins.
Yeah, it's so good.
Banging on the trash can. That was so good. You know what I haven't seen? Speaking of banging on the trash can, any Doug Astros memes.
Oh,
you watch Doug from back in the day? Banging on the trash can.
Oh,
that was like his big hit single.
Right.
Yeah, haven't seen any of those coming out. I might have to make some.
I was gonna say it's up to you now.
It is. Either that or someone's gonna steal my idea. So, all right, we'll stop bitching about the Astros. But we do have a review on the old Apple Podcasts, and whoever wants to grab this beer, this will be our upcoming bullpen beer and distribute equally amongst yourselves there. So this one is by Alley Cakes. I have a feeling I know who that is, but we'll pretend it was just an unsolicited review here. It says, The Unfiltered Gentleman was the first podcast I had ever listened to right off the bat.
That's sad.
Sorry to break you in like that. Right off the bat, I was hooked. Their bantering is hilarious, and trash talk keeps me going and laughing and makes my car rides go by quickly. I also appreciate their up-to-date knowledge of beer and the brewing industry. I love the Beer Babe of the Week segment, and I think it's so cool they have friends call in and do beer reviews. Also, Shannon, when she's a guest on the show, wowza, she has an amazing voice. Thanks, gents. Cheers to sticking around forever. I can tell you Scott's time is limited, but other than that, we'll be around forever, or until our livers give out. Yeah.
Well, maybe not Dan,
because he's dying from the plague.
Right.
He won't be here ever again. Thank you, Allie Star Cakes, for the review. You guys should leave us a review on Apple Podcasts /iTunes. We'll read it on the show. All right, old-timey word of the week, Eternity Box. Speaking of forever, Eternity Box, and that is a coffin.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which is where Dan will soon be in his eternity box.
There lies Dan in his eternity box. Poor Dan. Certainly not in an eternity box. That was a hard sentence.
This one's a classy dame with a great palate. It's Beer Babe of the Week.
It is indeed. Her name is Angela, and you can find her on the grams at Hops and Waffles. Hops and Waffles. That's underscores in between each word. Sorry, Scott. Hops _ waffles. In this one, she's drinking a West Coast IPA from Workhorse Brewing Company, which I think is in Pennsylvania, but don't quote me on that. But anyways, give her a follow on the grams at Hops and Waffles. I think you'll be glad you did.
Oh, she's got dimples.
She does. She's got very cute dimples.
Super cute.
Yes. She's got a great tattoo, by the way.
Yeah.
The big old chest
raven?
tattoo. Yeah, the bird there. It's a really good tattoo.
Yeah, very cool.
I don't always like huge tattoos on girls. This one works for me. I dig it. It's kind of badass, and I feel like she'd probably beat me up.
Lovingly.
Lovingly, of course, all the way. All right, I think, is everybody ready to make that call?
Indeed.
Let's make a call to the pen.
He calls to the bullpen for beer.
Ooh, man. This one is Resident Culture Brewing out of Charlotte, and Other Half Brewing did a little collabo called Sleeping on the Blacktop. It is a triple NE IPA.
Wow.
9.5%, 4.14 on Untapped. Deb's all about the triples today.
I am.
Keeping with the theme of getting beers from friends, this one comes to us from Wendy and Apples. You can find them on the grams at Brewpug SC. Brewpug S is in South Carolina. All one word. This is delicious. What does the brewery say? Hazy Triple IPA hopped with 2019 Select Citrus Simcoe and HBC 692. Collaboration with Other Half from NYC. Huge description. This is phenomenal.
Now look at the, what's the word? You know what I'm...
The hazy in quotes?
Yes, thank you. Hazy in quotes. This is hazy.
This is
You
hazy.
can't see anything through it.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
Mm-mm. But boy, can you taste it.
Delicious.
So much tropical in the nose.
As sweet as hell, though.
It is a little on the sweet side, but hides that 9.5 quite well.
Mm-hmm.
Go in for a little more here. Yeah, tropical fruits. Getting some mango, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Seems to be the flavor that's sticking out. And then finishes a little sweet and a little piney.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel.
It's a hazy.
It's a hazy. It's big.
Mm-hmm.
It is a big mamma jamma. Scott, what's it you?
Definite hazy.
Mm-hmm.
I like the sweet. I'm a sweet kind of person.
You do like sweeter.
Not personality, but...
No, not at all.
No.
But you do like the sweeter in beers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Thanks again. Sorry, mouth noises. Thanks again to Wendy and Apples for sending this one over. Make sure you follow them at Brewpug SC. Wendy, by the way, former Beer Babe of the Week. All right.
There you go.
We got some booze news to get to before we get on up out of here.
Extra, extra, drink all about it. It's time for booze news
So this was the reason that our burp word of the week is Coronas, before we even found out that Dan was dying from the coronavirus. But coronavirus has affected beer sales and production in China, and Anheuser-Busch, that's 95%, has suspended operations at their Wuhan brewery. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear they're not shipping out beer from their Wuhan brewery.
Not the Wuhan.
Yeah, which is, ground zero for the coronavirus.
Right.
So, way to go. But yeah, everything's shutting down. There's a lot of retail being affected and that kind of stuff because of the virus. But most importantly, beer being affected. Speaking of international beer, Brooklyn Brewery opens a Tokyo tap room.
Wow.
Yeah, so Brooklyn Brewing going overseas over there. A tap room we should all not visit. Founders has reopened their Detroit tap room.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. It's been closed for, I think, like 3 months now, ever since the whole racial thing went down. And they did an extremely poor job. In fact, I think they have the same PR person as the Astros.
I was going to say, they're
For
the Astros
real,
of
yeah.
breweries.
Yeah.
Maybe they can sponsor them.
Maybe.
Hey, there you go.
It'll be Founders Park.
Right.
Yeah. In Houston there. Yeah, I think that'd be very fitting. Because boy, are they both organizations I won't support. And AB, Anheuser-Busch's Labatt, acquires Banded Peak Brewing back in late January. So there are now 2 Canadian breweries I've heard of, Labatt and Banded Peak.
Oh.
We always talk about we don't know any Canadian breweries.
We do now, eh?
We do now. So maybe Sir Food Savage or something can get us some Banded Peak, not Labatt. Please. And then finally, this is interesting, I think. The Busch family of Anheuser-Busch fame, Busch family to star in the Busch Family Brewed reality show.
No.
You're not going to watch that? Not going to set your DVRs?
Oh.
Why not? Oh. Yeah. They're flying around the grandson of Adolfo Busch, or Adolf Busch, excuse me, not Adolfo.
Adolf Busch.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Too good, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, anyway.
Lots of jokes to be made.
I can't. Not right now.
It's not culturally appropriate.
Oh.
So anyway, set your DVRs for The Busch Family Brewed. That'll be the name of what's sure to be a horrible, horrible reality show.
I'm so sorry. You're never going to have me back.
We can laugh at the Bushes.
You might be a regular.
Yeah, after that one. Oh, God. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's everything. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for filling in for Coronavirus Boy.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. You know, when I was sick, I kept telling people I had the coronavirus, and the wife was like, you need to tell them you're joking. We don't want people to think you actually have it. So I don't think Dan actually has it. We'll find out soon enough. Find us at theunfilteredgentleman.com on the social medias, The Unfiltered Gentleman, except for Twitter, at UnfilteredGents. Deb, you can find on the grams at One Hop Mess. All one word, right?
All one word.
All one word. Easy to find, even for Scott. Call in, leave us a drunk voicemail, 805-538-BEER, 2337. And most importantly, make sure you're all staying extremely well hydrated. And on that note, good night, everybody.